What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we're going to go over the brand new Plarium news that they just dropped for us. It's going to be related to a couple events during CVC, so let's quickly jump into that. All right, so here we go. Plarium dropped the news bit just above my head on the left-hand side here. Keep in mind that these events during CVC, these are progressive events. They're basically pretty long shots for some specific champions we have here. Let's go over them real quick. They're basically just bait events so that people will spend shards outside of fusion events, potentially costing you the fusion. So if you guys are after a fusion, make sure you guys don't fall for these bait events. Even though it's during CVC, it's not always the best time to pull for these champions, especially with the poor pull rates that we have. But let's quickly jump into some of these champions here and we'll have a quick chat about them. So first we got Dune Herod Zeheris. He is one of the new release champions here, one of the barbarians, Dune Herald Zeheris, a force support champion. He's actually not too bad. His kit is fine. Good base speed, good base HP, got speed in all battle aura, got the A1 100% chance to steal target turn meter, and then he has a 100% chance to apply debuffs spread with 2 random debuffs. Pretty strong A1 overall. His A2 here also is quite decent. 3 turn cooldown when fully booked. Applies the buff spread effect, taking all buffs from this champion, placing them on all allies. This is after stealing from one champion. Also places block buffs and block active skills on that target for 2 turns. Now these are some pretty like debilitating debuffs, right? Block buffs, block active skills. So you rob somebody of all their buffs, spread them on your whole team, and then basically shut them out. Very strong controlling A2. And then the A3 here on a 3 turn cooldown places intercept stacked on one ally and then block debuffs and increase speed. Very, very nice buffs on a 3 turn cooldown. Intercept is proven to be pretty useful as well. So good champion overall. You probably want him to be pretty fast, and then you can place this with the increased speed, or you can target and steal somebody's buffs and then spread them on your team. He has a passive here that places increased accuracy on all allies for 3 turns at the start of the round, which is pretty good. And a little bit of turn meter boost here when a debuff on an enemy is removed. Like I said, a pretty good kit, but I don't really see him getting used too much. He doesn't really have any kind of control, but he does have quite a bit of value in his abilities. But anyways, he's up for grabs on day 1. Each of these events or each of these sets of champions will be available for 1 day. So keep that in mind when you guys are looking at the summoning portal. Up next, we have Lady Kimmy from the Shadowkin, a very decent champion for turn meter boosting. She goes decrease accuracy, decrease speed, and she also goes increase accuracy, increase speed with some turn meter buffing as well. Very, very fast champion, 115 base speed, basically the fastest in the game. Great champion overall. Too bad her Doom Tower aura, her speed aura is Doom Tower only. I don't really like that about her. It would have been nice if her aura was speed in all battles or speed in arena, for example, but she's still a pretty good champion, especially with increased accuracy. Can definitely set up some like bomb champions teams and set up things like that. So very, very decent champion. Up next from the Sylvan Watchers, we have Grand Oak Padre. Excellent, excellent champion here. Very strong A1 with a chance to decrease the cooldown by 2 turns. That's pretty massive. Brings the team-wide ally attack on a 4-turn cooldown. Also brings some continuous heals. And then brings a turn meter fill with a full team cleanse and increased speed on a 3-turn cooldown. Very solid cleanse ability. And a passive here that brings tons and tons of value. Every time he takes a turn, he's going to apply the proper buffs according to whatever type of champion you have on the rest of the team. Also brings speed in dungeons. It's a bit interesting. Padre can be used. For example, I use Padre in my Fire Knight team, so the speed in dungeons here is actually pretty relevant there. But yeah, great champion, great base speed here. Very, very good for like Hydra as well. Moving on, another Sylvan Watch for grabs is Yostra Dream Song here. Also very good. Got the speed in arena battles here, 115 base speed. Again, top base speed in the whole game. A1 places asleep potentially. A2 decrease speed, weaken with the turn meter boost here. And then the A3 on a 4-turn cooldown places increase speed, increase attack, and turn meter boost with the extra turn. Very, very nice champion. Passively heals your team with based on turn meter boosting percentage here. Very good champion, brings a lot. Great for Hydra, for example, can be used for Arena, can be used for Chimera as well. Great champion, was a past fusion at some point. Lastly, for the non-voids here, we have a Skinwalker, damage dealing Razovar. It got speed in all battles aura, good base speed overall, has good base attack. His abilities are based on attack and speed. So the more attack and more speed you can have on Razovar, they'll apply to his abilities. Got triple hit on the A1, got AoE leech on the A2, a big heal to himself. And his A3 brings increased speed, increased accuracy. Both of his AoEs are on 3-turn cooldown. He's actually really strong in a lot of areas. Great for Dark Fey. He's actually pretty good for Fire Knight Hard, for example. Good for clearing waves. Got the multi-hit A1 as well. Got the increased speed. Can be very, very good. Also has a passive here that boosts his speed, making him an extremely fast champion. This also boosts his damage overall as well. Good champion overall, can be very useful, can be very high damaging for Hydra teams as well. He rounds out the non-voids on day one. For the voids, it actually gets pretty interesting here. We have Fidey Teal Crest, great champion here. One of the newer champions, brings an A1. It's going to be a team-wide heal. Also brings a turn meter boost. The A2 here is an AoE strip and then places a block buff and decreased speed. Now, this can be huge for places like Hydra, for Chimera, can be very, very strong. Also brings turn meter fill. And then his A3 is the moneymaker here. Increased resistance, perfect veil on the team. But the big thing is that he decreases the cooldown of all allies by 3 turns, the skills. So, and this is on the 4-turn cooldown. So great ability here on the A3. Good HP, decent speed as well. Great champion, lots of versatility for him. Great for Hydra, great for Chimera, great for a lot of areas. Arena as well. I would say a pretty good Void champion. Up next, we have Incenza Grail Bearer. She is a Sylvan Watcher, Void champion. I do have this champion. She's actually very, very good. A1 brings the AoE decrease attack, also brings the ally attack with the highest crit damage. So this is just going to boost up your damage a lot. She also brings the poison cloud, increased speed, continuous heal, and a big turn meter boost. So you do this on your big damage dealer. You're going to put your damage dealer with more turn meter, more giving them more turns, making them do more damage, giving your team more damage. And then lastly, she does bring the decreased defense and weaken on a 3-turn cooldown as well. Very, very strong. Good base speed overall as well. Great champion. Lastly, rounding out the voids, we have Togron the Conjoined. Togron the Conjoined is an Orin Tribes. Where's Togron? I don't think he's a bad champion, but I don't really see him fitting into too many teams. 110 base speed, great base speed. Speed in all auras, all battle aura, sorry. A1 applies a buff spread. It's only a 50% chance. The A2 provides a heal and a 3-turn cooldown, increased speed, and some continuous healing. It's pretty good. It's A3, 3-turn cooldown, increased turn meter by 20%. Also applies increased accuracy. And then it cleanses all allies. Usually the cleanse happens first, which is the better part because it can take off things like block buffs, and then you can apply your buffs. So this is a little bit of a negative here, having it happen afterwards. Funky passive here that increases his HP, giving him a bit more survivability. He has good base stats overall. For a support champ, he's fine, but honestly, he just doesn't do enough for a Void support champion. He needs to have like a team revive or something. But yeah, it just doesn't do enough. For a Void champion, he's not going to be really, really strong. He probably would be okay as a non-Void, but as a Void champion, it's not going to be somebody that you really, really want coming out of a void shard. On day two, so we're moving on to day two progressive events. We got another one of the new champions that just got released. First up, we have from the Ogren tribes, First Axe Tuskor. Now he's a damage dealer. His base attack is not incredibly strong. He's got an A1, got a chance for an extra turn. He's got an A2 here. It's going to be an AoE. And his damage inflicted by the skill increases by 10% for each buff on himself. So that can be, kind of manipulated. Obviously, it's like a heaven cast blessing. Decrease the cooldown of the skill by 1 turn. If this attack kills an enemy, if this attack kills 2 enemies, grant this champion extra turn. So extra turn mechanic on kill, and then built-in heaven cast. No ignore defense on the A2, unfortunately. The A3 here is a double hit, self-buffing, increase attack, increase crit damage, ignore shields, and then kills, grants an extra turn. Again, no ignore defense or ignore stone skin. Passive here, each extra turn this champion takes, it increases the crit damage by 10%. Each extra turn this champion takes decreases the damage they receive. Now, the decreased damage received, I figure it's not going to be too useful because he's a damage dealer. He's going to fall over with any kind of serious damage. And then extra 50% crit damage. I mean, it's not going to be as good as like flat damage increase. So there's that. Paired up with his kind of lowish base attack, makes me think that he's not going to be an insane damage producing champion. Up next, we have Modo, previously new champion. He is what? He has the ability to go through Stone Skin. He does extra damage against it. He doesn't ignore it or anything like that. But from testing that I've seen and I've done, he doesn't hit it hard enough to successfully blow through like big support Stone Skin. He can kill, like nukers and stuff through Stone Skin, but he's not going to be able to, wipe out some really strong tanky teams with this ability. He brings another AoE here with the stun, which is actually pretty strong as well. And then he brings an A1 decreased defense. Not a terrible champion, but obviously, he requires accuracy to stun. He needs to have really good stats to go through Stone Skin. Overall, he's not too bad, but he's not going to be like insane or anything like that. His bonuses with Esme makes him a little bit better because he starts the round with an intercept buff from his passive, which makes him a little bit better because it means he won't get sheeped if he's starting to play stuns and all that. Esme on the same team also gives him an extra hit here against stunned targets, which can yield pretty good damage from his A2. But overall, I don't think he's going to be an insanely good champion. After that, we have Nekmothar from the Lizardmans. Very, very good champion on day 2. Speed in all battles, got the turn meter boost, increased speed, decreased speed and leech on the A2, and then decrease attack on the A1. AoE, very good champion. Lots of speed, lots of turn meter, very good for Chimera, very good for Hydra. I mean, can be used for Arena, can be used for just general wave content. Good champion overall. Up next for the non-voids, we have Wallmaster Otherion from the High Elves. This guy, really, really strong champion, actually. Squishy base stats, but he's got an AoE A1, turn meter fill, A2, double hit, has a chance to place block buffs, 100% decrease attack, filling, and turn meter as well. Also has an enemy max HP slam. So the thing with Wallmaster here is that his multipliers are not that great. So you need really, really good gear for him to max out this hit. But if you can put really good gear on him, with accuracy, he places block buffs, decrease attack, and he slams with the max HP. So he can be a very, very strong champion. He also has some self buffs for himself and a little bit of increased durability from his passive as well. Quick champion can deal lots of damage, also provides the block buffs for Hydra, as well as deal damage. So good champion overall. And lastly, for the non-voids, rounding them out, we got the Skinwalker here. We got the Rat Man himself, the king of the rats, Nishak Verminlord, very strong in live arena right now. Seeing him being the kind of like the more budget bomb champion. So he places the bombs on his A3, and then his A2 decreases the duration of the bombs. Very, very strong. A1 also places bombs. His attacks are actually, they hit decent, so you can build them out, with high damage as well as high attack to take advantage of the bomb damage as well. He's a good champ overall. Obviously, affinity can be an issue sometimes when placing bombs. So you just got to be careful about that. But definitely a very strong option for live arena nowadays. Moving on to the voids for day 2. So the first void up for grabs is Ayasu. So Onryo Ayasu, very, very strong champion. He's one of my highest damage dealing champions on my team for Hydra. Yeah, double hit A1, has a chance to deal extra turn when you kill an enemy, has a chance to deal extra hits. His A2, double hit, chance to destroy, can destroy max HP. Not affected by bosses, doesn't affect bosses. The damage inflicted by the skill increases for each buff and debuff on the target. So this can be really, really crazy. Of course, the damage increasing, and then places block revive as well if you kill somebody. His A3 is really strong. Ignore 50% of the target's defense as well as stone skin, shield, and strength. A very, very powerful champion. And his passive is kind of like a mega built-in hex almost. Spreads a lot of his damage out to the enemies. That's kind of how he does tons and tons of damage against Hydra as well. Great champion overall. Good base attack. Very, very powerful champion. Up next for the Voids, another champion that kind of, I guess, compares to Ayasu, I guess. And we got Georgia here. Georgia's big move here with the A3. Ignores strength and stone skin, unkillable, block damage, increased defense, ally protection, and shield. Extra turn if it kills an enemy. Very strong abilities here. So you basically snipe one champion and you go into the AoE that blasts the whole team while pushing back the turn meter, of course. Great base attack here. Very, very strong champion. I have Georgia myself, and I use him to go through Stone Skin champions a lot. Big problem with him is that he's super squishy, so keeping him alive is the hard part. But yeah, still a very, very strong champion. And then lastly, for day 2, for these progressive events, from the Dwarf faction, we have one of the newer champions, Arnorn the Shining. Very strong champion. I did a play test on him. It was very fun. This guy, he hits super hard, but he doesn't have a lot of ignore defense, I guess. He has a conditional ignore defense on his A2. If the target is under 2 or more buffs, then you ignore 35% of the target's defense. It's a single target hit. And then his A3 ignores increased defense, strengthen, and shields. Also pushes back turn meter. He doesn't require accuracy. But his passive is what makes him like really kind of tricky to play against. So he has damage buff passively, and his active effect on a 4-turn cooldown prevents his death, places stone skin on him, and then he instantly activates his A3. So if you try to kill him, he stays alive, he applies stone skin on himself, and he instantly attacks you with this AoE that can potentially slam you pretty hard. And if it kills somebody, it's going to push back your turn meter by 50%. So it gives him another turn, potentially. Yeah, it could be just massive. Like, he can be a game changer. Like, he can swing the battle like instantly if you're not ready for this passive. So yeah, really cool champion. I like him. I like him. He's void affinity as well. But yeah, so anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the news. These are events that are coming during the CBC. Like I said, each one of these sets of champions will be available for 24 hours. Keep in mind that there is no boosted rates or anything like that, so you guys are pulling with regular rates. And keep in mind that these events are basically just bait events, trying to, basically take the shards away from you so you can't complete the fusion properly, or they're kind of events for people that are not going for the fusion. So it just gives you guys something to do. And I guess it gives you guys opportunity to really jack up your CBC points if you guys are pulling shards, for example. Anywho, that's going to be it for the video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys are planning to do. Hopefully you guys are having a good CBC. I won't be streaming CVC obviously because I'm in Japan right now, so it's a little bit difficult to have a stream set up and all that. But yeah, I'll try my best to keep up with some of the Fusion updates and some of the news updates that happen. Any kind of relevant information, I'll definitely try to pass along to you guys. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below how you guys are doing, and see you guys in the next one.